Today I have the privilege to introduce Selva Siganindran, the author of the book on Creation versus Evolution, A Scientific View. Selva says, no one doubts that science has been responsible for great advances in our lives, including healthy food, medicines to combat deadly diseases, improved and safer travel, computers, mobile devices, and even man on the moon. However, when we take a scientific view of the ongoing debate between creationists and evolutionists, it is very important to identify and disqualify illogical arguments and methods that are indeed non-scientific. The message that follows is taken from an article by Selva Siganindran and intended to give you an in-depth view of the logical and scientific nature of this ongoing debate. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome. #1 best-selling author and neuroscience researcher Selva Siganindran's 9th book is about to be published. After spending some 18 months researching into creation and evolution, he says that this book is the most important book he has written so far. However, he feels that before you do read his book, you need to hear an important message. Today, I feel privileged to pass this important message to you. Here is Selva's message in simple terms so that everyone can understand what science is and what it is not, especially when fact and fiction appear to be only a hair's breadth away. No one doubts that science has been responsible for great advances in our lives, including healthy food, medicines to combat deadly diseases, improved and safer travel, computers, mobile devices, and even putting man on the moon. However, when we take a scientific view of the ongoing debate between creationists and evolutionists, it is very important to identify and disqualify illogical arguments and methods that are indeed non-scientific. First of all, let us look at what science is and how it works in practice. Science involves carrying specific and relevant experiments in the present, and then arriving at conclusions or inferences. It also involves repeated tests to ensure consistent results that indicate a direct correlation between the experiment and the inference. In other words, the final inference reached has no room for speculation. This is true science as we know it and is called operational science. It is precisely this operational science that has given us all the benefits that we mentioned earlier. However, scientists also have to deal with past events. This type of scientific study is called historical or origins science. This should not be confused with operational science. So, how does historical science or origin science work? Historical science accepts that we cannot perform experiments on the past because they cannot be repeated. You may well ask, how does it work then? In historical science, inferences regarding the past events are made using observations in the present. Speaking scientifically, this is extremely difficult without a great deal of speculation. What is more pertinent is that if the event took place in the distant past, then a series or chain of events, all based on speculation, has to be generated. Under these circumstances, you can see how non-scientific factors such as the opinions, faith, or lack of faith, and beliefs of the scientists performing the study will most certainly color the outcome. In a nutshell, historical or origins science, especially when dealing with the distant past, would represent more of the scientist's own worldview, and thus is very different to the strictly no speculation principles used in operational science. It is only in the origins science that we have a conflict between creationists and evolutionists, and not in operational science. It is important to understand that the respect attributed to operational science cannot and should not be extended to origin science, which includes speculation. It should also be noted that in historical science, it is the inference on the past that is being disputed, and not the observation in the present. This is so important. I hope you will bear with me while I repeat this message. In historical science, it is the inference on the past that is being disputed, and not the observation in the present. In other words, evolution is as much a theory as religion. Both are beliefs that are accepted by faith without scientific proof. Thank you for listening.